What's going on, family? First of all, thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is part 2 of how to make a beat beginner series. Behind you right now is a sped up version of part 1, so if you'd like to check out part 1, I'll leave a little annotation right about here, and I'll also leave a link down in the description. We're going to get into actually making your beat, the 3 main elements of beat making, and what I believe a beginner should focus on so you don't get too overwhelmed in your DAW. And like always, if you learned anything new and or like the video, please smash that like button and do that for everybody, not just me. It helps all of us little small creators. And if you didn't, please hit the dislike button and let me know what you want to see different and or what I can improve on. Or I mean, just drop a comment. Let's start a community. Producers unite. But with that out the way, here's the video. Enjoy. 3 main parts to beats is the melody, percussion, bassline. Now, obviously, you can have, well, I'm gonna tell you what I normally do. I try to have either 1 or 2 melodies, or if I have one, it's like real dynamic. But lately, I've been having just like 2 melodies and 1 top melody that comes in and out throughout like the song. Then I have I don't usually use these are just preloaded, but if you're having troubles finding those, remember it's in plugin preset, not plugin database. I know I probably like you also stop at plugin preset, but all of these down here you don't really like. Speech
Superstar,
as you heard from that, if you want to use those, go ahead. I think they're ugly. I don't like any of them.
UK beat.
They're free for a reason, or default for a reason. And mixer presets, I don't use any of these. Scores, I don't even know what this is. I think these are they're templates for the piano roll demo project. That just don't worry about that. Clipboard files, don't worry about that. Backup, it's saving. Desktop, that's just because I have my hard drive saved on here. Miscalculus, it's called Miscalculus for a reason. Impulses, it's like your FX, like if you're making movie stuff and movie sounds. Packs is drums. This is where I got these drums from. Here's the 808 kick and hi-hats. Once again, I don't like the drop down menus. That's why I said when you first get on here, just stay in plugin preset and generators. Like, this is everything you will need to make a song and then some. For the melody, then for percussion, skip all this, go down to packs. All your percussion is here, FX is here. I'm probably keep going on tangents, but this is what my not even what 10th video. Your boy knew it's a journey. I'm just trying to like explain what I know. Ooh. So once you got all that, I think it's now time for you to make your beat. So once again, super simple. I'm gonna just keep the tempo at 130. My process, well, since this is not I'm not making a beat that's gonna change the way sound work. I'm just making a beat that can explain the tutorial. First, FL keys, getting your piano roll, always make it a little bigger. Now, if you don't know like chord progressions or major, minor chords, don't matter. All that stuff, if you really want to know it, you can look it up online. But I'm gonna just, here's a real simple, I'm gonna just do a simple D minor chord. 0, 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so this is a minor 7th chord. Just from me, well, first, just hold Alt and right click. That's how you get the little playhead to pop up, and it will play anything you're interacting with. Before I get super duper OCD and zone out and try to make a goddamn masterpiece, I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit. I'm like super zoomed in. Zoom out and in by holding Control and scroll wheel. I'm gonna have little pop-ups on the screen, hopefully. To help with the little shortcuts and whatnot. I remember, boom, Control X, boom, Control X. 1, 2, snare. Then after that, every white is just a snare. Not every, but it's 4/8 snare, then 4/8, 4/8, 12 snare. And that's just the basic snare. So back to the chords. I'm gonna keep it not simple, but not too much. Cause I'm doing the most. So one thing that you can just go ahead and do since new, just go up to this magnet, right click it. Oh, sorry, left click it, and click line. So every time you bring up a note, it will first. I gotta quantize this. Control Q to quantize it, brings it flush with the line. It was hanging off a little bit. Now it's all quote unquote in sync. Super basic chord progression. Then just bring it back like this. Once again, this is like super duper simple, y'all. If you want to get like fancy with it, do 0. You can also do this too. So Control V to control paste. Then we got like a little template. And just mute everything. So now you can access it to put notes. Where's F? F. You gotta unmute it because it's slow. Just click something that's unmuted. Add little keys in there, just make it sound nice. Just when you put it in, like all these notes are in key. These are in your main chords, so you can start from F, dun 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 dun, then bring it back to F right here. Then just copy and paste. Then over here, since you got that, start at D. Probably make notes half the size. Cute little top melody. You got your chord progression, and now after that is the bass line. The bass line is relatively simple. You can go about it 2 ways. One way is just this right here is like literally the bass line, just the lower note of your chord progression. So you just feel like copy it down exactly if you want. Like when I say exactly, literally exactly. Bring it down an octave. Personally, it's a little boring, but that is the bass line, and it probably don't sound cool just because it's all still in FL keys. I can show y'all what swapping sounds like at the end once I get all the ideas and points across. But you literally just control copy that down. I'm gonna show you how I usually make my bass line. I just use the channel rack, and wherever my kick is, just well, I guess you can copy this pattern. I don't really but just. And pro tip, if you don't really know where to put a kick, wherever your chords hit, you can just usually start it off there. But I already have like this pattern, and once again, it may sound very beginner. Just because I'm trying to keep it beginner-ish as much as possible. I'm not trying to bombard with a ridiculous amount of information.
Cap.
From here, like I have to just fill every 2 steps if you really want to. And then I sound like this. And honestly, you're done. Now the sub, see where the kick is. 808 kick. Alright, there's our kick. Then our sub, which is sub. Alright, so we just pick this. I know I say you can literally just copy this down, but it sounds stupid. So I'm just. Now you got your melody, you got your kick, you got your hi-hat, you got your snare. That's what it sounds like. Alright, that can be like your melody. If you want to add more bounce, this is where the clap come in. Normally I always layer the clap and the snare just for more sound. Then you can also play off of each other to add bounce. So yeah, the clap, yeah, but
Get some help.
Yeah, like this. But you can also pitch it down. You can change the velocity so it sounds more faded. I can show that real quick. Go to the clap. This one. This is max. This is about 75. See, so it sounds cool. It don't just sound like, it don't sound like this. It sounds like this. You got like cool effects like that, but I wouldn't really add that there. But honestly, like I really think that's an intermediate, but I want to increase the. Well, I guess I can just increase the kick sound from here. Go back to this menu. You can write. When you left click it, this menu come up, like the master, mini master for the particular sound, and you can control the volume on the wrench right here. This just turns up the volume of it, so but back to the bounce. Just bounce is pretty easy. You can do it with the hi-hats, with little rolls. Have a roll here. Or keep that like this. But I like, I always start with rolls. Starting with rolls is beautiful. Just these little 2 are bounces. What I normally do, I just That is the normal. Just block that one out and just do one. And as you see, as you keep adding layers, it will sound beautiful. Like, there's no race to anything. Just do it at your own pace. Who cares, bro? Like, don't let people dictate your music, G. Do it your own. Do it yourself. Now, I don't think, like I said, I'm just trying to keep it real simple, basic. I don't want it too confusing. So I'm not going to get into super crazy sound designing. Again, from there you can always add more kick hits, claps to get your own like little bounce to it. Your own like sub patterns. You can have it like start like that. You can like that. There's no rules, bro. You want some Suicide Boys type shit? What you want, guys? So stop playing that over and over. What I will show y'all is how to route them to your mixer so you can edit the sound. To route these to your mixer, you can either just click this or scroll up and push 1, 2, and just go down from there. Well, my number pad makes patterns for some reason, so just 1 through whatever you have selected in your channel rack. At this point, everything is now here. Plays real simple. Now you're probably like, well, how do you separate these? How do you get them not so together? Now that's easy, but I'm gonna get into that right after this little lovely note. Don't just on your, you can, but just don't worry about mixing. Just worry about your arrangements. Worry about sound selection, because sound selection is up there. Sound selection will kill your beat if you have horrible sound selection. If you pick a bunch of weird sounds that don't sound good together, it's just not going to for a good beat. Getting into all the mixer plugins and controllers. Yes, you can get into this. You can use them by all means, but you have to you just have to get better with just navigating. You have to get better with sound selection, and you should get better with your patterns. Once you get all that 3 things down, I feel like then you got the beginner parts down. I really struggle with mainly those 3. If you're enjoying this video, please slap that like button, subscribe for more. As I keep doing these awkward, horrible tutorials. Like this time I got a little notepad next to me, so I'm not going off on too many tangents, but I'm tangent T and I always go off on a tangent, so like Mario on another tangent. I was explaining how to separate this, but when y'all watching the video, it's gonna be nice and edited, and I'm gonna have glorious timestamps so you can get to and know exactly what I'm talking about in that entire time frame. So if you already kind of know what I'm talking about, you can skip past it or go back to it for a reference. But the pattern picker, and you can skip my tangents. You just right click and split by channel. Now it looks crazy probably just because everything is on top of each other. When it does this, I just delete it all. Then here is the quote unquote main melody. You're probably like, how you get this separated too? And you can delete all of that. You just come right here, highlight, control copy, hit this plus sign, just put top mel so you know what it is, and control V. Then just go back to default. You can just delete all this. So it's separated, and you can have a nice effect. You can have this play. And like that. But arrangement, all arrangement is you taking these sounds and putting them, well, not even, arranging them in a way that suits your needs / your end goal. Arrangement is completely subjective. You can arrange your song any way you want. Traditionally, songs are just arranged. You know, you got your chorus, you got your verse, and you just got your break, your bridge, then chorus, the verse, and ending. So you can go that same route. That's what I'm gonna do. Oops. I never did that before. Usually I gotta double click, but this time it just quickly went to it. But I usually just have the melody play by itself, then I have the top melody come in on the third one. Then after the fourth one, I just bring everything in. I keep everything relatively together. That will sound something like this. No matter what you're doing, bro. Then you can just, once this play, what I like to do, you gotta breathe for a second. Keep the bass in. The way the top melody sounds now, I choose first. I don't like it, so well, I like it. Bring it back. Copy and paste. Oh. Yeah, I mean, y'all gonna really love this. I'm gonna get this word tattooed on me. It's all subjective, jeez. It's all subjective. You can have it as long as you want. You can arrange it any way you want. After this point, add this, like, this can be like a little bridge. Just have the hi-hat keep playing with the snare and the clap. Sample, but it's a banger. Like for a beginner beat, this is fire, bro. Like if you made something like this for your first beat, this is heat. This is heat. You can obviously there's a trillion of things you can do, there's a trillion things you can add, but this as a whole, this is heat. And once you got your heat, well, I guess you can ending. Let me see. What I normally do, I just bring back the chords usually. Then I just have like the snare go. The snare and the clap, just because the snare just sounds so boring. Pretty much is it. Beats can be 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds. No time limit. Nothing is set in stone when it comes to music. You already know. So once you pretty much finish your beat, this is how you render it / save it. Just come up to the top left, hit file. If you want to render, you'll go to export. Then you have the option to render as a wave, MP3, OGG, FLAC, or a MIDI file. Now if you want to put it as a MIDI, obviously you do the MIDI file. If you want to save it and upload it to like Spotify, Apple Music, any like streaming services, you'll want to use a WAV file. Since WAV files come out, well, WAV and MP3 is pretty much the same, but a WAV has slightly better quality, or just it's better quality. And if you just want to put it on your phone and just listen to it whenever, if you don't have like Spotify or anything, MP3. Nothing wrong with MP3. I used to always do MP3. But you just hit MP3. You just hit save wherever you wanted to save it as. Then you don't change none of this unless you obviously wanted to save as something different. Make sure it's full song. Leave remainder. You can cut it if you wanted to end instantly. I would just leave remainder because I have like effects that dissipate with it. Resampling, keep that the same. Keep all this the same. Don't change any of this. Click upload to cloud if you want to upload it to cloud. I don't. If it had effects, obviously keep this so your effects stay the same. You can save tempo information if you want. You don't have to. Just put that in the name. But you just hit start. I'm not gonna hit start because I'm about to go delete it later. But it will fill up and it'll pop up wherever you saved it as. If you don't want to export it, you can save the same just anywhere on your computer. And no, these are not all the beats I made on 2020. I just got this computer, so you dig. They also save it like that. So this is essentially how you make your beginner beat. I explain the 3 main parts of a beat, which is the melody / top melody. Well, anything with the melody. The melody, which is the chord progression of top melody. The bass line, which is the sub, and your percussion, which is whatever percussion items / sounds you use. There's many more tips, tricks, and things you can do to it, but I'm gonna get more into that in the intermediate video. In the intermediate video, we're going to spend a lot more time in the mixer, because all you're really doing here, since first time you ever made a beat, like you're literally just gonna just be turning stuff down, maybe just messing around with everything because you don't know exactly what it does. But now you got more of a understanding. If you learn something new, please hit the like button, subscribe for the next iteration of how to make a beat series. The next one will be an intermediate beat. That's how I'm that time to talk more about sound design, sound selection, sound manipulation. We're going to get more into the mixer so I can explain mixing more and effects more, all the fun stuff. So thank you if you watched this long. Please check out my other beat videos, my more production heavy productions, and I'll see you in the next one.